So, I am a huge Call of Duty fan, if you don't know. It's not my favorite series, of course. Obviously, Resident Evil does take that top spot. But I decided today that we're going to be going ahead and doing a Call of Duty tier list, ranking every single Call of Duty from Call of Duty World at War all the way until Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022. And you're probably wondering, where's COD 4? Where's COD 1, 2, or 3? Well, I have not played any of them. I have played... basically I haven't played any. I haven't played COD 1, not 3, not 2, or not 3. And I've, surprisingly, surprise are here, I've never played COD 4. So, we're not going to be ranking those games, but we are going to be ranking every single one on this. And there's no COD Remastered, so we're not going to be ranking that as well. But we have every single Call of Duty on here, and we're going to rank them from S being the best, F being the worst. And let me tell you, there's a couple F tiers in here that might trigger some people, but we'll see when we get to those. But we're just starting things off with Call of Duty World at War. I'm going to be honest. It's not a bad game. Now, Call of Duty World at War was the first game to introduce Nazi zombies, which is a mode and to this day is probably one of the most popular modes in the game, probably more popular than the campaign at this point. But the zombies mode was actually good, and it was fun to play. I loved it. The campaign was amazing, one of my favorite campaigns definitely, and multiplayer wise was phenomenal. My ick with this game, of course, being old, obviously the movement's a little clunky, the killing, the score streaks, all of the glitches kind of in this game, it's to do with its time and when it was made. But I'm gonna be honest, there are games that were made in like the 90s that are even better than this game, but we're not going to talk about those. But we're going to rank World at War at an A tier if I have to. So I think it's definitely deserving of an A, if I have to say so myself. And we're moving on to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't play Modern Warfare 2 in its prime when it was released in 2009 up until, I think the first time I played Modern Warfare 2 was probably around when the backwards compatibility came with the game on Xbox One. That was the first time I played the game ever, like, in my life. And then I played IW4X. So I never really got to fully experience, because I really only played the Xbox One backwards compatibility thing for a bit, like not too long, probably like a couple days at most. So I didn't play the hell out of this game, but I do know its things, but I never really experienced, the noob tubes and everything like that. Like my time when I say my time, I'm talking when I started watching and playing Call of Duty was the time period of Black Ops 1. Now, I played World at War before Black Ops came out, but I did play Black Ops 1 pretty much, I guess you could say, as my first Call of Duty. But Modern Warfare 2, I'm going to put in a B. Ooh, that might trigger some people. I'm going to put Modern Warfare 2 in B, but we'll see where that leads with people's, opinions on my opinion here. So, Modern Warfare 2 is a B, and we're moving on to Black Ops. Technically, my first Call of Duty release, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm gonna boost this up to an S tier. Now, I'm gonna add a new tier here above S tier because there is one game, and you might know what it is, but there's one game that is deserving of an S plus. But Black Ops is an S tier. Black Ops 1 was the first Call of Duty technically that I played on launch, and it was fun as hell. I mean, the campaign, my favorite campaign of all time in Call of Duty history. The multiplayer, although the maps were, kind of mid, and people really only used like 3 guns, those being the FAMAS being used the most, the Galil and the Commando, I would say that just using those weapons, it was fine, but, it got a little repetitive at points. But they added the Blackbird in this game in this multiplayer Black Ops. They added the Blackbird, which is a or basically nowadays, which is known as the Advanced UAV, was introduced within Black Ops 1. So you can thank this game for that. But I will say, competitive COD in this time, I wasn't watching, but I know what of this competitive COD was, and let me tell you, Scump, who is the GOAT of Call of Duty competitive play, he was nasty at Black Ops. So that's what I'll say. But yeah. But the zombies, let me tell you, the zombies was where it was at. This is kind of where my zombies self, came into the world, and I got introduced to the zombies mode, and really started to fall in love with it. And nowadays, I pretty much only play zombies. Well, I don't only play zombies. I play zombies. If I had to play zombies, I would play it over multiplayer, if that's how we're going to put it. So, Black Ops deserves an S tier. And we're moving on to our good old pal, Modern Warfare 3, the game that was made about 8 months times, and developers who made this game, or actually developers, I think developers who made this game or were going to make this game or something, actually ended up making Apex Legends and Titanfall. Who would have thought? But let me tell you, it's not a perfect game, but I'm going to put Modern Warfare 3 at A. I'm going to put it above World at War. And here's why. Because Modern Warfare 3 is a more polished game. It's very much more polished. Also, the multiplayer was more fun, in my opinion. I loved the multiplayer in Modern Warfare 3. I know people are saying this is the most underrated. This is like, S tier or S plus tier. In my opinion, though, and I think a majority of people will say that it's not a good game. It's not an amazing, like, out of this world game, but it is a great Call of Duty game and definitely deserves an A tier. And we move on to what? What came after? Oh, Black Ops 2. Here we go. Take a drink of water real quick, just to prepare myself for this baby to pump all the way up to S+. Black Ops 2 is quite literally the best Call of Duty experience I have ever had, and I will never be able to experience it again. The Black Ops 2 era was probably the best era of Call of Duty of all time, and that is not exaggerating. Like, it had an amazing campaign, it had an amazing zombies, it had pretty much the best multiplayer mode you could ask for was birthed in Black Ops 2. Black Ops 2 introduced what is known as pretty much the trick-shotting era that made trick-shotting popular. Was kind of in the Black Ops 2 era. Now, although, yes, Modern Warfare 2 did introduce trick-shotting into Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, I would say, kind of made it out of, people started to find out about trick-shotting through Black Ops 2 if you didn't know what trick-shotting already was. So that's where it was. And also, in my opinion, the best trick-shotting game is Black Ops 2. Also, not to mention that the amount of commentaries and the amount of videos and every live streams that people would do on Black Ops 2 were just you can't relive those today. Like, you cannot relive those moments today because they were specifically embedded into Black Ops 2's memories, and I have had some of my best memories in gaming history from Black Ops 2 multiplayer. So I have to give that an S+. And here we go, trigger warning. Call of Duty Ghosts, in my opinion, and from what I've played, and well, I've played this game a lot, and let me tell you, this is quite literally the best I'm just kidding. This is quite literally the worst Call of Duty I have ever played in my life. That is no exaggeration. And you're probably wondering, why? Why is the reason? The campaign of this game literally made no sense to me. On top of that, I didn't really enjoy the story. The story of this game didn't make sense and also didn't seem interesting to me. So we're going to put that aside. The multiplayer quite literally had the worst perk system in Call of Duty history. The worst pubs, in my opinion, in Call of Duty history was birthed in Call of Duty Ghosts. On top of that, the created class system was so junked and janky. The maps were terrible. No good maps at all. Maybe some okay maps, but none of the maps in Call of Duty Ghosts were actually good, in my opinion. This game is the worst Call of Duty that I have ever played. And yes, we're including Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2. Hold your horses, but we're going to get to those in a second. But Call of Duty Ghosts, also the Extinction mode, I don't have to talk about it. It's literally nothing like zombies. They wanted to go for a zombies look, but it didn't work out. Like Modern Warfare 3 did the Spec Ops survival mode. That was honestly more fun than World at War's zombies mode, in my opinion. So we'll see. It is what it is. But Call of Duty Ghosts is the worst Call of Duty I ever played in my life. Moving on to Advanced Warfare. Now, Advanced Warfare introduced the supply drop system, which we would have up until Black Ops 4. So that's a downside. That's a down point for Advanced Warfare. But what I will say is that it did do some interesting things, such as being the first Call of Duty with exosuits, being able to play vertically in Call of Duty for the first time, which was, at the time, insanely cool. And honestly, everybody was wanting to play Call of Duty, vertically. They were like, when's it coming? Here we go. And we got it. Well, how'd it end up? Not so great. But in my opinion, it's not the worst Call of Duty I've ever played. So I would have to put it in a C tier. Now, it does have the worst zombies mode, in my opinion, ever. But the multiplayer was fun, I thought. And I thought that if you have the Speakeasy or the Obsidian Steed or any of the variants pretty much that are good and are the best, I would say you would have a pretty fun time playing this game, dropping Moabs and everything like that. Or they were known as, I think were they Moabs? I don't remember, but it was fun to do. So I'll put Advanced Warfare at a C tier. And now we have Black Ops 3. The best zombies mode in Call of Duty history. That's no doubt. I mean, there's no questions about that. The multiplayer is probably my second favorite multiplayer of all time. It is so much fun to play. And I wish it could come to Plutonium. And then the campaign, we're not going to talk about it because it is quite literally probably the worst campaign in history of Call of Duty. Although I did finish it, unlike Call of Duty Ghosts. I did not finish Call of Duty Ghosts campaign because of how boring it was. So that's how it is. But yeah, Black Ops 3, it was a fun game. It was let me tell you, the zombies community. I was a part of the zombies community at this time, and the amount of videos, the amount of, you will not see the day of, this was zombies peak. Black Ops 3 Zombies was the peak of zombies, and we'll never be able to relive that, which is unfortunate because you had things such as the Z House. If you don't even know what that is, you don't even know what that is. But the Z House, you had all these Easter egg hunts, EE for C. Oh man, I miss those times, and I wish I could go back and relive them. But yeah, Black Ops 3 definitely deserves an S tier. And we move on to Infinite Warfare. Oh god. I'm going to put Infinite Warfare in a D tier. Here's the reason it's not in F and in D, because of Zombies in Spaceland. If Zombies in Spaceland wasn't a part of Infinite Warfare, or wasn't one of the best maps of all time in Zombies, I would say this would definitely be an F. This might be worse than Call of Duty Ghosts, but because Zombies in Spacelands exist, I have to put Infinite Warfare in a D tier because of how good Zombies in Spaceland is. It's so good and so much fun to play. Honestly, if I had to say, one of the best zombies maps of all time. But that's another tier list for another day, which is ranking all zombies maps. So yeah, I'm gonna put Infinite Warfare in D tier. And we have World War II now. I'm going to be honest, World War II is kind of an underrated game in my opinion. I think it's better than Advanced Warfare, so I'm going to put it in a B tier because I think with the things they did with World War II was so cool, and honestly, I miss it. Honestly, it was cool. It was a nice time. Although, yes, it was at this time when Fortnite was a thing, and Fortnite was kind of overtaking Call of Duty at this point. It was upsetting, but I was still a part of that Call of Duty community. Although I wasn't, strictly playing Call of Duty at that time, I was playing Fortnite. But World War II was underrated. It's underrated in my opinion, and honestly, it deserves more credit where credit is due. And I'm going to put World War II in a B tier. Black Ops 4. This is difficult for me because I'm debating putting it in either B or A because let's just get this started off. It's not an S or an S plus, nowhere near because honestly, it's not even near the like middle or even top of A tier because there's no campaign. If you don't have a campaign in your game, like that's already an L. You've lost points at that point. But I thought that the zombies was all right. It was not bad. It wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't terrible. And I thought that the multiplayer of Black Ops 4 was so good. This is probably top 3, maybe this is like top 3 multiplayer modes in history of Call of Duty for me. It goes Black Ops 2 number 1, Black Ops 3 number 2, Black Ops 4 number 3 because Black Ops 4's multiplayer was it was so much fun. It was so much fun to play. And honestly, I did go back and play it a couple months ago and it never changed. So I'm going to put Black Ops 4 in an A tier. Bottom of A. Of course, it's not going in between World at War, Modern Warfare 3, or even top of A because there's no campaign, so it's already an L. And I will say, if Blackout, which is the Battle Royale mode this mode, if Blackout was free to play, I guarantee you, and this is maybe heated moment here, but I guarantee you that Black Ops 4's Blackout mode would have been, if it was free to play, it would be better than Warzone, in my opinion. So I think that, yeah, I got to put Black Ops 4 at an A tier. And we're going to do that right there. Next up, here we go. I'm going to get so much flack for this. Modern Warfare 2019. One of my least favorite Call of Duties of all time. F tier. Modern Warfare 2019 was the lowest point, besides Ghost, of Call of Duty I've ever experienced. It was so low, bro. The pubs were terrible. The maps are garbage. The time to kill. This was when time to kill was a fucking big deal, and this is when Call of Duty died. When Call of Duty introduced the time to kill, fast time to kill, and all the things that are now in the game and the system. That's where Call of Duty messed up because it is now probably worse, if I have to say, than maybe, I don't know, but it's bad. Let me just tell you, it's bad. Yeah, this game, man, I couldn't deal with it, man. It just sucks. And I will say though, it does have some benefits, such as the gunsmith making some whack ass classes and having some fun. Search and Destroy was fun as well. And also, I will say that the tactical sprinting was the best thing added into Call of Duty, but other than that, everything else was garbage. So I'm going to believe it in an F tier. And we move on to Cold War. Cold War was the return of zombies, or at least we thought. I mean, it wasn't like Black Ops 3 level, but it was good enough. Let me tell you, it was good enough. And I'm going to put it at the top of B because it's a solid game, and I think that the zombies mode is really good and probably one of the best zombies modes ever. But the multiplayer I didn't play for like I'm gonna be honest, I didn't play the multiplayer for like the first like probably 6 months that the game was out because of how hooked I was into the zombies mode. So I didn't even experience the multiplayer until after, and I was like, it's alright, it's not the worst. I think that it has its benefits, and honestly, watching competitive Call of Duty at this time was fun to watch, but I think that besides that, it was alright. I never played the campaign because I never got around to it. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really want to play it, so that's why. But I'm going to leave Cold War at a B. I think it's a solid game. And we move on to Vanguard. This is where it's going to get hella heated now. Vanguard is better than Modern Warfare 2019, but it's still an F tier. Call of Duty Vanguard, Um, Probably the lowest point for zombies we've ever had. And also, not to mention, an even faster time to kill. How is that even possible? I don't even know. But even faster time to kill than Modern Warfare 2019. Not so good score streaks. It's World War II once again, and honestly, I would have wanted a futuristic Call of Duty such as Black Ops 4 or Black Ops 3. So I think if Call of Duty Vanguard was replaced with a futuristic Call of Duty, I guarantee you people would replace this with a futuristic Call of Duty, it would be like a C, maybe a B. So yeah, but because it's World War II, we got to put it in F. So we're going to put it in the F category. But we move on to our final game. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022. This game made the GOAT of competitive Call of Duty retire, Scump. So that's you lose some brownie points there. You lose some points there, but I will say it is really fun to play. I think it's fun to play in certain situations. If you're having a rough day, and actually I shouldn't say that. If you want to play Call of Duty like more seriously, I guess, or more competitively, Modern Warfare 2 is the way to go. It's more fun, and it's honestly, in my opinion, the best way. With ranked play coming out in a couple days, I think I'm going to try to grind that, see what I can do, and it's going to be fun. So I think this game's not as bad as people say it is. I'm going to put Modern Warfare 2 at the top of C tier, so above Advanced Warfare, but it's still not a good game. Let me just say, it's still not a good game, but it's an alright game. But yeah, it's still bad. So we're gonna put it at C, and that leaves no games left, and that's your tier list, ladies and gentlemen. That's my tier list for ranking every Call of Duty that has ever existed. Let me know in the comments what you think of my list. I'm going to get some heat for Modern Warfare, probably the F tier category. I'm going to get some heat for that. So, yeah, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like and subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.